What do you plan to do if this whole dream of yours doesn't work out?
That doesn't even enter my consciousness.
disrespect for money, and I know it's hard to believe, but I'm telling you, this game, it fills stadiums overseas. And it's only a matter of time before it fills stadiums in the United States, too, before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box.
Alright guys, let's get this thing going. Let's take a look first at this right here. Let's take a look at some fundamentals here. We can begin at that. Alright, let's take a look. I can send service to EMI. Trade DNA midweek read on U.S. private jobs. Wow, the job market's actually not doing that good at all. Holy shit. Job market is not doing good at all. More jobs were added. Hike rates and it would lower markets here, but fewer jobs were added. Into gold. This thing made the market jump. ISM services here. Down for US stocks and down for the Dixie here. So the Fed may cut rates to help growth. I didn't know service activities were that weak. Interesting. I think NFP. If this week NFP is lower than expected, we're probably going to see stocks and Dixie drop. And look at that. But it's expected higher than expected. Looks like Dixie and gold would drop during NFP. Let's take a look here. To be honest, I was waiting for Dixie to reject off this zone here, and it's not doing that. We're breaking 4-hour structure, and it looks like Dixie wants to break lower, which is unfortunate here. If it does end up breaking this zone here on the daily time frame, we need to be very careful here. It's breaking down this low. The rejection coming lower here is not the best. If we do break that rejection, price for sure is coming here. %1,000,000%. Dude, I'm not feeling good about this at all. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not feeling good about Dixie right now. I'm not feeling good about it just because, again, like, I had a call with my VIP students yesterday, and we were talking about Japan being bailed out, right? The Bank of Japan. And the Bank of Japan was basically bailed out, okay, very, very quickly. And honestly, the US economy almost shut down in like less than 24 hours. But Trump and the US government bailed out the Bank of Japan, which is insane. Secretary Scott, because to be honest, Armageddon should have happened with the Bank of Japan. For the US, with the Bank of Japan selling treasury bonds about literally a couple minutes ago. I mean, a couple days ago. Monday, Japan was going to sell U.S. Treasury bonds, and the whole thing would have exploded. Japan is bleeding. The U.S. has already intervened once, and it failed. Massen is telling the Fed, help prop up the yen with dollar loans, and Japan starts dumping American debt to expand its FEMA repo facility so Japan can borrow massive dollars against treasuries instead of selling them. This is a corporation's desperation. What's really going on? Japan holds over $1 trillion in U.S. debt. Yeah, selling even part of it would spike yields and crush markets. So Bassett wants Fed liquidity to paper over the problem. Extremely risky long-term, terrifying consequences. Erases Fed's independence as a treasury. This erases the Fed's independence as the treasury publicly pressures it to expand facilities for foreign crises. Signals the world's second biggest U.S. debt holder is in trouble. Markets will test how far this goes. Turns a temporary tool into a permanent backdoor bailout. The market will force ever larger intervenes. Risks accelerate a loss of confidence in both the yen and in the dollar. BOJ banker warned as forced the U.S. interventions. It did indeed happen. Discuss the worst case scenario that considers a collapse of creditors' trust in the U.S. dollars, but Washington will never let that happen. I don't think Trump would ever let that happen. Why is this not loading? Why is this not saying anything? Is something broken here? Let's see if this guy can sum it up.
Steve is well known by many people who know what they're doing as the money doctor. So if you don't know what the money doctor is, when you want to know about money, you call the doctor. We have a big issue, Steve, to talk about in Japanese yen intervention, fully loaded U.S. government intervention. We might call it manipulation. We'll get into it, but I figured it'd probably help a lot of people if you just explain what's going on, because there's not a lot of truth telling on this one.
Oh, there certainly isn't, Keith. It's great to be with you. I see you're moving around on the trading floor. I'm down here in Baltimore at Johns Hopkins doing my thing. Anyway, great to be with you. The thing is, not only the analysts, but the financial press just have Japan completely wrong, and they've had it wrong for a long time. And when I say wrong, what's the narrative? The narrative is that Japan has very easy monetary policy. Their monetary policy is easy. And the reason they say that is because interest rates are relatively low in Japan. Mm-hmm. But monetary policy is not about interest rates, it's about changes in the money supply. And the money supply has been very anemic for many, many years in Japan. And what is it right now? It's growing. The money supply is growing, M2 at 2.2% per year. It should be growing. Hankey's golden growth rate, based on the quantity theory of money, is that it should be growing at about 6% per year, a rate consistent with hitting its 2% inflation target. So, of course, they're not hitting the inflation target. The inflation's 1.6%. That's because the money supply isn't growing. It's growing at an anemic 2.2% rate. So monetary policy is not loose. Forget what you read in the press. Forget what you read in the, you got, 25-year-olds writing iBank reports, that kind of thing. Hey. By the way, Hank, this reminds me, Hankey's 95% rule, Keith, is 95% of what you read in the financial press is either wrong or irrelevant.
It is but they do premise everything you say, to your point, with, they just assume that Japan had a loose monetary policy. You're absolutely right. And you're saying that's categorically not the case.
That's categorically not the case, because what happens is that you got to get back to the quantity theory of money and monetarism. And if the rate of growth in the money supply is low,
is like ridiculously boring.
We will have, with a lag, a low rate of.
Okay, I just basically said the same thing that, like, on my VIP call, why the Japanese yen was tanking. Essentially, guys, in the 80s, Japan sold out its whole world economy with lowering interest rates. And because they sold their whole world economy to the US, they did it for trade, they did it for tax breaks, so that way large infrastructure and companies from Japan and automotive companies, especially like Nissan, Toyota, Honda, Kia, all these big companies could go over and what? They could go over and build and expand and have first movers advantage on the automotive industry here in America. So and obviously get access to the number one, consumer market in the world, which is America, richest country in the world. Now, why is that important? That is important because America sold out its American automotive industry, but Japan sold out its whole world economy. And that's why the Bank of Japan has been suffering here for years, for decades. They've had record low rates for a while now. Now they want to increase rates. America just forced them to hold rates. They can no longer raise rates until further notice. Their rates were at zero for a very, very long time. And now the chances of them increasing rates are starting to skyrocket. Okay, so simple. Let's go over here. Let's take a look at SPX. I believe that America is bailing out Japan. So with America bailing out Japan, America, guys, and this is something I want you guys to know why the collapse is almost never going to happen. And because this right here would have been the collapse. This right here was Japan announcing, hey, we're going to start selling U.S. Treasury bonds. America, being a bully, said, fuck that. We're not going to let you guys do that. We're not going to let you sell U.S. Treasury bonds. Trump works out a deal, says you guys are not allowed to sell, okay? And then says right here, you guys are not allowed to sell Treasury bonds, okay? We're going to bail you guys out, and this is what happens to the market, okay? You almost can't make this shit up. It's crazy. It's like a movie. So how do you bet on an economy that doesn't freaking play by the rules, creates its own rules, and refuses to lose? How do you do that? How do you do that? Damn. There's very little small. This increment here is barely holding up price. To be honest, I see price coming back here. We'll get in the buy here. We hit TP here. Russell, very similar to everything else. Broke structure, looking for buys here. Here we go. Are we gonna lift off now? Because gold is gonna retrace pretty heavy soon. Damn, I just sounded like I had a accent there. Once gold retraces here, that's when we click buy and we're in. This is gonna be one of the best gold trades of my life right now. Looks like at 30-year yields, they're coming back down slowly. Gonna increase though. Oil. Whoa. Yesterday I called buys on gold and it's still running. To be honest, guys, you're going to want to call a pullback on gold here soon. We've been talking about this run here for a long time. This will be the run of the century. Right? Wick-off theory, impulse move, correctional move, impulse. This is guaranteed money. It's going to be one of the best moves for gold in a long time. You guys are about to witness history right now. I think gold is going to go parabolic. I just want to wait for a retracement soon first. Looks like gold's now retracing now. I need a retracement and I'm going to buy gold. That's it. That break of structure area. Tomorrow we're going to be buying gold. Oil is a buy. Gold is a buy. I think Dixie's going to sell. I think a lot of value is going to be lost in the dollar because the yen crash and the SPX might go up because it's fear. Dollar over here with USD CAD is definitely shot down back to break even here. I actually believe this might break downward here. This might be a sell-off by tomorrow. So be careful if you're there. As for Bitcoin,
To make $1,500, not including airfare, I need to focus right now. No distractions.
let's look at Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin's bearish. Technically,
What just happened here? Technically it broke structure. Bitcoin's about to move higher. Did it break? Technically it broke structure. I have sells here, here, here. I might get out if it closes above like that on the daily tomorrow. Stays closed above, I'm getting out. I have sells here, 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 here. I even have sells here. But if it's gonna play these games here on the daily will be my last confirmation. If I see a close above here on the daily, I'm out.
Bitcoin's going to go back up to these highs at 66. We'll probably go to 71.
Why? Why would this happen? There's a lot of fear happening in the market right now, but I honestly don't believe that that will happen. There's a possibility though, because the US just bailed out Japan. They're just going to start turning on the money printer, bro. And dollars are going to be weakened and devalued, and people are going to dump it in the markets. Let's look at the Trump coin. This is interesting. I forgot about Trump coin.
So those are my thoughts, guys. Appreciate y'all. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. Tomorrow we will be trading live. But other than that,